Il est 7 heures.
It is 7 o'clock. I will call the meeting to order. We need a motion to adopt the agenda. Moved by Councillor Hill, seconded by Deputy Warden. All those in favor indicate by saying yes. Contrary, motion is carried. Number 3, are there any items on the agenda that could place you in a conflict of interest? If not, we will go on to 4 presentations.
We're supporting newcomers to Clare, Kathleen Dotramo Mooney, Western Wren, Carla LeBlanc of Immigration Services Association of Nova Scotia, and Nadine Lauren of Y-Reach. So the floor is yours. Welcome.
Bonjour et merci.
Good evening and thank you. I am Kentley Dr. Mamouni and I work for the Western Regional Enterprises Network, and I am one of the participants here this evening who works in immigration.
So I basically help business owners to fill the application form for immigration programs. I also provide them with an overview of the programs. Carla works for Immigration Services Association of Nova Scotia, and her role is slightly different. I'll let her explain later. And Nadine works for the Y-Reach program, which is sponsored by the, or I guess hosted by the YMCA or administered, and she works with immigrants who are here on the ground. So we all 3 of us work on an outreach basis. We travel to the business owners' locations and we meet with them, and my role is simply to, I won't go over the details of the programs, but if you see on the page 2 of our handout, we have, I work with the Atlantic, losing my train of thought, the AIPP, Atlantic Immigration Pilot Program. You might have heard of that one. And there's another one called the Provincial Nominee Program. Both of them are available through the province, the Nova Scotia Office of Immigration. They're administered through them, and I basically help employers to figure out which program might be the best one for them. They're both for full-time continuing positions. So if businesses want to hire a foreign national to work in a full-time continuing job, then those are the programs. There's also the Temporary Foreign Worker Program, which you're probably more familiar with, and that's for seasonal work. So for that one, I'm able to refer to the proper resource at the IRCC. So that's in a nutshell what I do, and I'll hand it over to Carla, I believe.
Hi, good evening. So I'm Carla LeBlanc, and I'm the onboarder employer engager for Immigration Services Association of Nova Scotia, which is ISANS for short. So our vision is a community where we can all belong and grow. Our mission is very simple. It's helping immigrants build a future in Nova Scotia. So ISANS has been serving immigrants for 40 years. We have over 300 plus qualified staff, 64 countries of staff origin, and 73 languages are spoken by the staff, which is pretty neat. We're a pretty diverse group. So as an onboarder employer engager, my role is to act as the liaison between employers and ISANS supports. So I am here to promote the benefits of hiring immigrants to help strengthen and diverse their workforce. So we do this through a variety of different services. So we have a skills match recruiting tool, which helps with the recruitment. So this is a free service to employers where they can post their job postings. It's very similar to Job Bank. You may be familiar with that. And there's also our qualified, ready job seekers. Their application or their resumes are also in that tool. So when an employer posts a job, they may receive a job match and they can interview through that way. So it's just a recruiting tool. We also have an on-site recruitment and information sessions where we offer to employers to be able to come to ISANS, or we can do them virtually now that we're in COVID, to have the opportunity to provide information to job seekers who are interested in applying to their jobs. And during those sessions, oftentimes on-site interviews can take place, so they can do hiring right on site. We also have a workplace culture program, which really helps with the onboarding piece for employers to onboard newcomers. We have the Professional Mentorship Practice Program, which is pretty straightforward. A professional business owner can mentor a newcomer in the area. We have English in the Workplace, which is a 12-week program, 2 sessions, 90 minutes, where we have trainers that can teach newcomers in a workplace, depending on the need and what the employer is requesting. And we have a professional practice program where we can offer employers up to 6 weeks. It's a wage subsidy where we pay 100%. Wage subsidy gives the newcomer an opportunity to gain work experience, Canadian work experience, and the employer to see if they may be a good fit. So these are just a few of our services that we offer through iSANS. So now I'm passing it to Nadine.
Good evening, and nice to see you all again. You might remember when I came to see you, I think it was probably the fall of 2019. I introduced myself as the new Y-Reach settlement person. I did change how I do my voice greeting every day, and now Claire comes first in my voice greeting. So this is just a slide to remind you of what our services are, but I think it's fair to say the same thing that I said to you the first time I came. I'm the boots on the ground. I'm the one who works with the newcomer and their family, if they have a family with them, to settle into their community. And it's not a one-size-fits-all service delivery. It's based on whatever needs they're presenting with. So you might be aware that we have a new family here in Meteghan from Syria. They have 6 children and mom and dad. So their needs are totally different than the Korean family that we have living in Meteghan now, who has 2 small children, and the husband's working and the wife is a stay-at-home mom. So it's always tailored to what the individual needs. I guess the one thing in that list that many of our newcomers require is English language support. So Ginny Blaney is our ESL instructor, and she's serving the whole area now, Annapolis Royal through Digby and all the way down to Clare. Because of COVID-19, much of our English language service is either done at the Cornwallis site or it's done by Zoom. But for the new Syrian family, Ginny's actually coming down into Meteghan to see them at the SIP Cafe, which was a great partnership between Amy and myself and Ginny to find a location that would work with that family. And so that's just starting up now. If you wanted to go to the next slide for me. So what I really wanted to come and talk to you today about is what's different since I saw you last. And this just gives you a brief overview of what's happened here in Clare. And I don't remember what I wrote, so I'm going to refer to my notes. We've welcomed 29 new individuals and or families to Clare since I saw you last, which I think is incredible. We're supporting 5 employers with their recruitment activities. You all know Riverside Lobster, of course. Synergy has just brought in a group of newcomers. AF Terio's brought in a group of newcomers. Bamboo Gardens is in the process of bringing in a newcomer. So, and then in addition to that, what's really exciting is we have 1 newcomer baby born in Clare to a newcomer family since I saw you last, which is just fabulous. We also hosted the first event that we've done that was for the entire province of Nova Scotia. And what we did is we broke it up into the 5 days, and we featured 2 locations each day with the exception of New Glasgow, and they got a day to themselves because they've got the lip up there. Digby was on Thursday, and so we did a lot of stuff around Clare. We had a trivia game, and so I was able to bring in some of the landmarks and great places to see and do in Clare. Amy Parody did an interview for me about welcoming Francophonie, the Welcoming Francophonie Communities Initiative, and I did part of my introduction of who I was and what I did down at Smuggler's Cove. So if you didn't get a chance to see it, it is a really, really well done 5 days of interviews and cultural information, and we named it From Newcomers to Neighbors. And the reason why we chose that name is when the families move here, initially they're newcomers, but all of our goal, and I know from you the last time I was here, you want them to feel like this is home. You want them to feel like they're a part of the neighborhood. So that's why we came up with that name. And then we also are doing some coffee and conversation at Sip Cafe. In another month, we'll be starting a Zoom virtual Canadian citizenship prep course for the people in the area that have now been here long enough that they want to try for their Canadian citizenship. And then in the spring, we're hoping to get some other activities going, but outdoor activities with our newcomers in the area. I was thinking maybe we could have a walking group or something like that. So anyways, that's what's new for Y-Reach. And thank you very much for the opportunity to come down and share the 3 programs with you. As you can tell, we're all really excited about what we're doing in the community.
I don't know if there's a Q&A session after, or,
Yeah, usually, so. N'as-tu des questions? The only question I have is, in your experience, what's the issues that would make a family, like sometimes you hear they move away, or what are those issues or challenges they face that they feel they have to move? Or
So since I have been here, I've had 2 families move into Clare that subsequently left. You may know one of them was the Rohingya family, and they opted to move to Kitchener, Ontario, because there was a big community there and they felt like it would be a better fit for them. And the other family that I know of, she's a recent immigrant to this area, and housing. And that's no surprise to any of you. If there is one challenge that this community and the other communities face, it's affordable, available housing. Big obstacle to overcome. AF reached out to me today. They have a new employee coming in. He's going down to Yarmouth to live because he could not find suitable accommodation up here. So now he's going to have that 45-minute commute every day. And I know it's a challenge, and I know you're working on it, but that's the number one thing, that if people leave, they're leaving because of that, not because they don't love the community, because they do. The Korean family that are here, Amy and I went out to coffee with the mom last Tuesday. Lovely woman, and they love it here. So really, it's not anything that Clare doesn't offer, it's the housing issue.
I asked the question just to have a better idea of what council can do to make things better for immigrants or newcomers. So I don't know.
Plans to build housing? I'm joking.
and yeah, the other one is transportation. And so Yarmouth, where you say that those people settled, is also in the same situation, just a little bit better, because there are more opportunities. If someone moves out, there might be an apartment available, but you know, it's here all over the Tri-Counties, really. We have the same issue, so.
Council is working on a housing strategy for the municipality of Clare, but it's a lot of work and it's going to take time, but we do see that that's one of the biggest challenges the municipality has.
Well, one of the great
Your microphone.
things about, one of the great things about the partnership that Amy and I have is she keeps me up to date on what's going on in Clare and what work you're concentrating on. So I did know that you were working on a strategy. And it's one of those, if we could have it yesterday, it would have been perfect. But, and I keep, when people come to this area, I work really hard to try and keep them in this area so that we don't end up losing them. Even though Yarmouth is pretty close, it's still not my area, so I don't want them to go.
We want them to come too.
Any other questions? Or? No? I want to thank you for taking the time and coming to present to council. I mean, immigration for us, being a welcoming community obviously is important, and council's working on a number of issues that will make that, I think, Clare become more welcoming, and hopefully we'll see more residents move to the area. So thank you for the work you're doing, and it's important work, so we appreciate it. So I'll switch.
Next, we'll go to adoption of minutes, 5.1, January 20th, 2021. Regular council meeting. Are there any errors or omissions? If not, a motion on the table. Moved by Deputy Warden, seconded by Councillor Hill. All in favor indicate by saying yes. Against? Motion carried. 5.2, February 3rd, 2021, Council and Committee meeting. Any errors or omissions? Motion on the table. Moved by Councillor Hill. Seconded by Councillor Godin. All in favor indicate by saying yes. Against? Motion carried. Business arising from previous council meetings, 6.1, 2021 tax sale. Pam, did you want to talk about that? At the council and committee meeting of February 3rd, it was discussed that to push back the date for the tax sale. And since then, the restrictions for COVID-19 have been relaxed somewhat. And under the advice of the finance department, they suggest that we do the tax sale on March 27th. So with physical distancing that would be possible at the Clare Veterans Center, we think we could accommodate the people that would come. So the ads for that will come out shortly. Are there any questions? Councillor Leblanc? Will people need to go in by appointment, or will everyone be able to come? No, we think we'll be able to accommodate, since in the past, the amount of people that come to this event, we should be able to accommodate everyone. And if people aren't interested in certain properties, if there's too many people, those people could leave other people come in if we need to. But with the physical distancing, we can still accommodate, I think it's 77 people there, so I think we'll be good. Are there other questions? If not, thank you. Go to 7, Warden's Activity Report. January 27th, I went to a meeting, virtual meeting of the Board of Directors of Université Sainte-Anne. January 28th, I participated to a Zoom meeting of the LOC of the REN Liaison and Oversight Committee. There was only one motion, and it was to approve the cost of living increase, the annual increase that was in the intermunicipal agreement that we had signed. But because it had to do with financing, we had to do a motion to approve it. January 28th, I participated at a virtual meeting for the mayors and wardens to discuss the lobster fisheries crisis. As you know, it's quiet, or pretty quiet right now, but the municipalities feel that now's the time that work should be done now to come to a resolution. And the idea for the mayors and wardens at the meeting was to maybe write another letter to the fisheries minister to say that we want to see some activity, some action now, and not wait until it starts again in the summertime without any resolution. So we have another meeting coming up next week. I think Alistair Surette, who was hired by the minister to do the report, will be there to present his report, and we'll have more information. But I think there will be a letter that will be coming out to council to send to the minister before long. January 29th, I participated to a virtual meeting with Cook Aquaculture to discuss the facility in Centerville in Digby County. February 2nd, I participated at a meeting with Suzanne Saunier, from the Director General from the CAPNE, as a follow-up to the presentation that she did to council on the daycare in Clare. So more or less, she just wanted to have a small discussion to start to look at the situation that they will be in with one of the schools that's supposed to close, and they're trying to plan ahead for what's coming up with all the changes in the schools, in the elementary schools. February 4th, I came to a meeting here at with Nick MacArthur from Mainland Telecom for an update on the fiber optic internet project. I think in the report that Pam will present, there's going to be some details for that. February 4th, I participated at a meeting of the Société Édifice Sainte-Marie-de-la-Pointe to discuss the next steps of the Society for the Church in Church Point. There hasn't really been any decision really that has been taken, but there will be another meeting, I think, tomorrow to discuss more.
February the 12th, I attended a meeting of the Advisory Committee, SHS Consultants, for the elaboration of a strategy on housing for the municipality of Clare. We are working on the strategy. I think it's going well. The people on the committee, consulting committee, these people of Riverside, and we have André Leblanc of the Economic Development, Pam, Stefan, and myself. I think the group with the consultants are happy. They would like for it to happen yesterday, but we are going ahead at least. And on February the 12th, I attended to a telephone meeting with Dr. Sarah Kirk to discuss our share in the Tri-County survey that you will see under correspondence. And February the 13th, I attended a virtual meeting of the Governor's Council of Université Sainte-Anne. I went through rather quickly. I don't know if you have any questions. If not, we will go on to 8, the official statements from members of council. Are there any official statements? If not, we will go on to correspondence. 9.1, Honorable Bernadette Jordan, Minister of Fisheries, Oceans and Canadian Coast Guard.
La lettre est adressée à Monsieur.
The letter is addressed to Mr. LeBlanc.
Regarding the events in Nova Scotia, and for your kind offer of the use of your facilities to bring Indigenous and commercial harvesters together in the negotiation process. I regret the delay in responding. I share your concerns, and my first priority continues to be the safety of everyone involved in this issue. Fisheries and Oceans Canada, DFO, fishery officers, the Canadian Coast Guard, and the Royal Canadian Mounted Police have been coordinating their efforts on the sea, on land, and in the air, and have been working with officials from the province of Nova Scotia. They continue to monitor the situation. The violence, destruction of property, threats, and intimidation that were witnessed do not advance our goal of reconciliation, nor do they support the further implementation of First Nation treaty rights or a productive and orderly fishery. I have been hearing from my stakeholders with clear concerns about conservation and sustainability. I can assure you that lobster stocks are healthy and that DFO will never move forward with a plan that threatens the sustainability of the resource. We must remember that two common objectives unite everyone involved in the fisheries. First, the long-term sustainability of the resource and ensuring that it is available for generations to come. Second, safe and orderly fisheries that are accessible to all harvesters. These two principles guide this department, and I hope that it is through this lens that we can find common ground and reduce tensions. Respectful, constructive dialogue between everyone involved in the fisheries is essential to a peaceful resolution. That is why on October 23, 2020, the Honourable Carolyn Bennett, Minister of Crown, Indigenous Relations, and I announced the appointment of Mr. Alistair Surratt as Federal Special Representative. In this role, he's working with both First Nations and industry to ensure all voices are heard. Separate from the nation-to-nation negotiations between government and First Nations, Mr. Surratt is focusing on building long-term communication, cooperation, and understanding across our fisheries. Mr. Surratt's experience in successfully settling fisheries disputes will contribute to reducing tensions in the region. The DFO is committed to renewing its relationship with Indigenous peoples and recognizes the treaty right to fish in pursuit of a moderate livelihood, as affirmed by the Supreme Court of Canada. We will continue to work on a nation-to-nation basis with First Nations leaders on the path forward to further implement their treaty right. Despite my appreciation for your kind offer of the use of your facilities, these negotiations must remain nation-to-nation. DFO officials and I continue to meet regularly with First Nations and industry representatives. While these meetings are out of the public eye, they remain constructive. Once again, thank you for contacting my office to share your concerns. Sincerely, the Honourable Bernadette Jordan.
Proceed.
Are there any comments or questions? For contact, it's a reply to a letter that we had sent in October when the tensions were quite high in the municipality, and we offered our hall as an area where they could meet. So the letter is late a bit, but that's the answer. The letter was received here on February 8th. The correspondence received by email.
Health and well-being of our children and youth in the Tri-County region. The Canadian Index of Well-being team, who collaborated with Engage Nova Scotia in the recent province-wide Quality of Life survey, has been working with UNICEF and the Trillium Foundation on a pilot project to develop a community-based well-being survey for children and youth focused on their life at school, at home, and in the community. Engage Nova Scotia has connected with Dr. Sarah Kirk, a professor of health promotion at Dalhousie University, whose research is focused on child and youth health and well-being. Sarah is supporting us in moving forward with this opportunity, including covering the $15,000 in costs associated with the data collection and helping us with coordination. She is co-leading a province-wide partnership called Uplift, which can be found at www.upliftns.ca. In order to ensure the successful collection of data in the 3 counties, we need a team of influential local stakeholders who can champion the survey within the region and encourage participation. This will involve sharing the survey widely among youth and youth-serving organizations, and at every opportunity encouraging youth to complete the survey. Warden Penny Smith has discussed this initiative with Sarah and is interested in being a champion for participation in Shelburne County. We are hoping that you will join her. Sarah is copied on this email, and she would be very happy to engage with you to provide further information and discuss the effort to achieve wide participation in the survey. Thank you and all the best. Ron Smith.
I had a call regarding my report. It is a pilot project for Nova Scotia. It's the Tri-Counties for Nova Scotia, and she indicated that it would be bilingual. There would be a survey in English and in French, and if the municipality wants to make the promotion, they have the chance. There are possibilities to add or change the questions if we want to participate. If there were interests in adding some specific questions regarding the French language and culture, and after the survey is done, we have access to all the data. We can't see what the people say, but it would be important information for the municipality how our youths are doing, especially with COVID, which is continuing. I'm bringing it here this evening to see if there is an interest from the municipality to partner with them. I know other municipalities are interested, according to emails. So I just need the approval of the council. And of course, if Amy wants to work with them, we could promote it on our Facebook page, because the more people who reply, the better it is. So what is your opinion, Councillor DeVoe? Thank you, Mr. Warden. If I understand well, they are not asking for money from us just to participate. I think it's a good thing to get involved in projects like that when we have the chance. I think it's good. I think the idea to have partnerships with municipalities, she mentioned that she stays in Halifax. If she sends emails, you don't have that engagement there. But when it comes from the municipalities and the residents that support it, they see that it is serious and the people are interested. So if you all agree with that, I don't know if we need a motion. At least we can have a consensus to go forward. Okay, we will go on to 9.3, the Honorable Lloyd Hines, Minister of Transport and Infrastructure Renewal.
Thank you for your letter dated November. Dear Warden LeBlanc, thank you for your letter dated November 19, 2020 regarding the high speed of traffic on parts of d'Entremont and Maxwellton roads. I understand the Department of Transportation and Infrastructure Renewal is in the process of conducting a review of speed limits and signs on d'Entremont and Maxwellton roads. Upon completion, I will request the area manager contact you directly to review the findings. Should you have any further questions, please contact our area manager, Pamela Melman-Shand. Sincerely, Lloyd Hines, Minister.
Are there any questions? Councillor DeVoe? Thank you, Mr. Warden. It's more of a comment. I don't know if it's the time, but I know that we asked for evaluations on other roads last year and the year before, and for speed limits. And I know that I had asked for one at Sonyville Station, and we've never heard anything. I don't know if it's maybe we can reply by mentioning the other requests that we've done in the past. I don't know how we could do that, but I had a meeting with Pamela Melman-Shand here in Sonyville to discuss our approach with a request to TIR. What they would like for us to do is, going forward, if that's what the council wishes, we could send a letter or an email to the operational center and copy Pamela Melman-Shand and Tony Hall, and to try to create a better paper trail and try to follow it. I think you'll see on the agenda later there are two motions to send a letter to TIR. So they suggest that we go about this way and meet more often. And I've scheduled them tentatively for the council and committee meeting in September. They will come, both of them, Pamela and Tony, and we'll try to do that more often, to have discussions on the priorities, on council's priorities, the letters that were sent. And the other point also is that they do their planning, they start their planning in September. So I think their objective is to come to say what was done in the year and what they think they'll be able to complete in the upcoming year. And that gives council a chance to explain what are the priorities for the municipality. So that's the approach that they suggest. And I think we should probably follow that approach. But we need to also follow up more closely with what happens after we send a letter. But if we have the paper trail and we copy everyone, that may be the best approach. What happens now is that when we do some requests and the public asks us when when they'll see something and I don't know about the other counselors, but I don't know what to tell them. I have nothing to tell them because I have no idea where it's at. I don't know if they've come to do the evaluation or so. I think it will be. I think if we go ahead with the way that you just explained, it will be much better than in the past. We'll try it that way and we'll see where it brings us. But from here until September, which is still quite a while, we have a lot of requests to TIR. We can't wait until September, so maybe we can send a little bit later an email to Pamela Melmanchan just to say we'd like to have an update on these various requests that were done. So maybe we could discuss at the next council and committee meeting and take it from there if you agree with that. Are there any other questions? If not, we'll go to 10, Chief Administrative Officer's Report. The first update will be on the internet. So phase 1, Route 1 from Commonville to Saint Bernard, strand and fiber construction is complete. That will be done.
Phase 2, New Edinburgh, Bas de la Rivière, strand and fiber is complete. Splicing and testing is complete. Phase 3, Ohio de Hassett, complété. Phase 4.
Phase 3 is complete.
Is complete. Splicing and testing is complete. Phase 5, quai de concession.
5.
Trimming has been completed. Littlebrook Highway crossing assessment work is complete. Assessment only resulted in one additional anchor required to be placed. Strand and fiber construction are ongoing. Phase 6,
Phase 6.
Como Road, make ready and trimming complete. Strand construction complete and fiber construction ongoing. Phase 7, Cultural
Phase 7.
Road, Sonyaville Road, 2nd Division Road, Eustache Como Road, make ready and trimming complete. Strand construction ongoing, fiber to follow. Phase 8.
Phase 8.
Sonyville Road, Say Sonia Road, make ready and trimming mostly complete, less the Metegan River water crossing assessment. Strand construction ongoing and fiber to follow. Phase 9. Metegan River, D'Entremont Road, Placid Como Road, trimming complete, make ready work is ongoing, strand and fiber to follow. Phase 10.
Phase 10.
Nectar Bonnie Road, Peter Digo Road, John Thibodeau Road. NSPI completed their scope at the end of January. Make ready and trimming ongoing includes 2 Highway 101 crossings, Metegan Connector and 2nd Division, strand and fiber to follow. Phase
11.
Road, Maxwellton, le long du 2nd Division Road.
On 2nd Division Road.
Scoped, NSPI has almost completed its scoping. Make ready, trimming, strand and fiber to follow. Phase 12, the remaining
Phase 12.
Baltimore Road out to the Salmon Lake area. Bell has completed their scope mid-January. NSP began its scoping on February 9th. VistaCare has been working in January with 2 crews. They have recently returned with just 1 crew while waiting for more make ready to be completed. Remainder of the make ready has been scoped by Mainland. Remaining 4 phases will be submitted to Bell NSP in the next 1 to 2 weeks. Ça c'est Mavillette puis Salmon River. Et puis ça c'est l'update pour le.
And that's the update for the internet project. Thank you, Pam. So could you circulate that update to council members? Certainly. Yep, I can send you that. Bellscope and Nova Scotia Powerscope. And then the tree trimming is done after that, right? And then the strand. Yep, that's the order, that's the process. And in terms of sharing the document, it'll be sharing the package of the meeting, so. And the question that is often asked, I know that I had the question Saturday night, is when will it be installed in the houses? Do we know? We don't know that. It should be soon, I would think. my wife calls every week, and it's 3 weeks that it's supposed to come. So it's coming. I would say probably in February it'll start. They're still putting the posts up to the houses. So when they do a test and it works well, I think they will start. So if I can, I mean, I'm not an expert, but I think that a lot of the delay is when they come with the broadband or whatever you want to call it, is that they don't want to have a negative impact on the people that are connected to the system from Halifax South. So they want to test it properly so that when they turn on the switch, that there's no negative impact on in other areas from the signal we send from the CFA building to the NEC and everything. So I think that's where a lot of the delays are happening. It's, as Councillor Dusa said, it's close. It's any time. Sure.
That was the update on the internet. As for the Echo Park, the field activities have been completed. Samples were sent to the lab. We should see a draft of the report in the first week of March. That is if there is no delay with the lab. The final report should be delivered within 2 weeks after receiving our comments, and up until now, we have not been made aware of any delay. So we expect that the report will be delivered on time at the beginning of March. The consultants will return to Clare to present the plans to the key partners during the week of February 22nd, which is next week. The concept plans for Mavilette Beach and Smuggler's Cove will be presented via Zoom to small groups on Monday, February 22nd at 10 o'clock in the morning. For Pointe Major, it will be presented in person to two people from the Historical Society on Thursday, the 24th, and the park in Bellevos Cove will be presented to up to 20 people on Thursday, 25th of February, here at the council chambers. The estimates for the costs and the specs are being developed, and ACOA has extended the date until March 31st to complete the project. For the Clare Veteran Center, there has not been many changes since the report of the month of January. The consultants and the architects are still developing the details concerning the new face, and we will have more details in March. For the Welcoming Committees project, as part of the Challenge Défi Art with the partnership of Bay Arts Council, there were 28 art kits that were distributed to people in the Clare and the community, with the emphasis on the new arrivals. And we saw an increase in the participation of the immigrants this year, and the kits have been really appreciated by the residents. A meeting with Carla LeBlanc with iSense to discuss the possible partnerships and opportunities to work together with the community. To meet with Nadine Lauren on February 9th to discuss also possible partnerships. And CFA of Clare, the team has started to work or communicate with the new arrivals in Clare for face-to-face meetings, one-on-one, to get information on their needs in short and long term. And they started also with more additional time to the gym at the university to invite the workers from Jamaica to play soccer a couple of times a week, workers from Riverside. On February 16th, CFA Clare met with Karim of the CSAP to start planning a diversity day in the 2 elementary schools of Clare, and we hope that it will take place in March. The Inclusion Committee and Diversity, which was also the CDC, the committee that will that has been revived, will start meeting at the end of February. And also, as part of the welcoming committee, the position of manager for the Rendezvous de la Baie is still open. The candidates have until February 18th to submit their candidacy. The breakwater in Bellevue Coast, the work started on November 19th, is almost finished. The project will be completed this week if the weather permits. The lighthouse is back in place in its original position, and the road surface has been completed. Once that is finished, there will be a gate that will be installed with a new steel post. 13,000 tons of armor stone have been used for the entire project. Once it is completed, the company will submit a final report, including the final numbers. For the housing action plan, we talked about it a bit. The meetings are continuing every 2 weeks with the consultants and with the members of staff, as well as those who are part of the team with the standing committee, the members of the community. The things that have been discussed lately is the choices for sites, if there are available lands, what would be different models for the landowners that could manage these housing developments, and also what could be the dwelling types. So we see what we would need. Would we be looking at apartments with 1 bedroom, 2 or 3 bedrooms, or single houses, or a mixed? What we will need. And consultations with these people are continuing this week. We asked also to the firm to propose to us an estimate on what would be the cost to include a 3rd property, because in their proposal they will look at 2 properties, which are the 2 elementary schools that will close once the new school is built. And we are looking at possibly the Acadian Villa Acadienne as a 3rd possibility to see if what we can do there. For asset management, there is no big change since the report in November. The only thing we should mention that they are processing the applications between 250 to 300, and our position is 471. For the chargers, there is no change from the report of January. We are waiting for news if the request will be accepted. For the sidewalks, the data collection, typographical survey, and the base plan on the conditions have been completed. So the plans are sidewalks and curb design. The design is completed for Peter de Gore Road. The design for Highway 1 east of Peter de Gore, that design is completed. Sidewalk design, that design is completed. Sidewalk design for the new sidewalk, Highway 1 west, that has been more or less completed. They are still working on the grade matching to existing properties. And the new storm sewer design for the new sidewalk at the connector, approximately 75% completed. The next stage in the process will be the internal review, and they will discuss with the municipality and Nova Scotia Transportation and Infrastructure. The estimate for the costs are expected by the end of the month. And for the health center, there has been upgrades with the lighting, with the energy efficient products. All the exterior lights and inside lights have been replaced. The generator has been ordered. The oil tank transfer switch and louvers have all come in, and the applications for the permits for the electrical have been submitted. Financially, as of January 31st, 2021, the municipality has recorded $9,574,000 in revenue versus $7,993,000 in expenses, for a surplus of $1,580,000. On January 31st, 2021, the municipality has a balance of $1,538,915 in the operating fund, $541,573 in capital, and a balance in reserve of $5,551,363. And that can be broken down as follows: operating reserve $2,200,000, the capital reserve $2,306,042, the landfill closure reserve $332,896, and the gas tax reserve $742,243. Any questions?
Councillor Potier? I just have a question. You spoke that the consultants will present to the group from the Joseph and Marie Dugas Park. Had we not asked that they make some changes or to the building itself, or will we see that before it's presented, or? No, as I understand, they will do their presentation to the group to have their input to see what they think, and then they will come back. That's what I understood. Me too, really. I think at the end of the day, we have the last word, so I think it'll go to them first for suggestions, and I think they've taken some of our suggestions, and then we'll see where it goes. Are there other questions? No, thank you. We'll go to committee reports. 11.1, building permits. Councillor Danny Hill.
Sorry, yes, the construction report. The municipality of Clare finished off December very well and had an excellent year in the building industry. And despite the COVID-19 going on, I think we did very well. And it seems like we got off to a good start in 2021 as well. We had 12 permits issued for $570,000 worth of construction, compared to last year with 6 permits with $312,000 of construction. So we're off to a good start.
Are there questions? Thank you, Councillor Hill. Next, we'll go to 12, new business. 12.1, motion to refund taxes, fire damage. As you know, it's always been a practice of the municipality when there's a fire that we reimburse the property owner, that it's prorated, that he's reimbursed prorated. So there's a motion on the table to do that. Councillor Potier. I move that the council for the municipality of the district of Clare refund the following tax amount in accordance with the assessment reduction of the Property Valuation Services Corporation for the reason described herein. Account 0466285, assessment amount $17,600, tax refund $302.40, year 2020. Reason is fire damage. Someone who wants to second the motion? Seconded by Councillor DeVoe. Is there discussion on the motion? All in favor indicate by saying yes. Against? Motion carried. 12.2, motion to send a letter, Nova Scotia Department of Transportation and Infrastructure Renewal, blind crest evaluation in Meteghan. This is the overpass on 2nd Division Road between the Peter Dugas Road and the exit in Meteghan. If you come up Peter Dugas and turn right, it's the overpass there. And the residents there find that there's a blind crest, so they would like to they would like for someone to go look and assess the site to see if a sign for hidden driveway or blind crest is needed, depending on what they find. So, as I said earlier, the motion will be in form of letter, but it will send by email, but it will follow the steps as I mentioned earlier. So does someone want to make the motion? Councillor Hill?
I move that the council for the municipality of the District of Clare send a letter to the Department of Transportation and Infrastructure Renewal asking for an evaluation to be completed on the blind crest near the overpass on the 2nd Division Road between the Peter Dugal Road and the Metegan Connector.
Seconded by Deputy Warden. Is there discussion? All in favor indicate by saying yes. Against? Motion carried. 12.3, motion to send a letter. The Nova Scotia Department of Transportation and Infrastructure Renewal. This is for a speed limit evaluation in Metegan. So those are residents that called that when you go down Metegan and you're going towards the connector, it changes from 50 to 80. And there are two reasons. One is that they find that because it changes that quickly and that close to the connector, a lot of people press the gas to go to 80 quickly. That creates problems. That the other point is that the construction at the villa has started, and when it's done, there's going to be a lot of traffic there. So they would like to make a study to bring the speed limit down to 50 until the connector. So if someone wants to make the motion, Councillor Potier. That's not far from where I live. I move that the council for the municipality of the District of Clare send a letter to the Department of Transportation and Infrastructure Renewal. Someone wants to second that? Seconded by Councillor Godin. Is there discussion on the motion? All in favor indicate by saying yes. Against? Motion carried. We'll go to 13, closed session for the people who are watching us. We have one item, 13.1, acquisition and sale of municipal property. So we need a motion to go to the closed session, moved by Councillor Doucet, seconded by Deputy Warden Leblanc. All in favor indicate by saying yes. Against? Motion carried. Good night.